Hello, peeps, and hello, peppers. Recap time, and hello. Um, I am sort of, running low on energy, so I'm kind of supporting myself with a lot of pillows and Harry. And I would say the last week was shaped by actually really good conversations. For instance, about like when people who have a medical condition claim they are not disabled. And of course, that's like everybody's personal decision. I have made the experience that depends very much on the people and also on the context. If they would classify like autism as a disability, with the cerebral palsy is like more socially recognized. That it is a disability. So, but yes, even I claimed when I was 18 years old, I am not disabled because at the point I was in Canada where the like daily life was structured in a very different way. And so, let's say at the point we didn't know yet that autism was called autism in my case, but like also for the sensory overload and stress make my mobility worse. So, and once the sensory overload was gone because of this different structure, I was under the impression that I walked better. People around me didn't necessarily confirm this. But anyway, I walked with less pain. I ruined less shoes by my posture. And let's say it may be fair to say that the disability was just less relevant. I might have mentioned it was quite an obstacle, like getting into an exchange program, because most people couldn't imagine what like daily life with my disability looked like from afar. But let's say, yeah, internet in the form that we have today and like technical possibilities of everybody making a video, they were not there yet in the late 90s, or they were in their children's shoes, as some people would say. So, I mean, today I might have a much easier time, by the way, communicating with people overseas about my disability. I am actually in favor of online appointments with doctors, um, at least uh, in situations where, let's say, you may not want to see so many people, or where you really only have to show something visually, or where the disease has to be assessed mainly by talking. Of course, I wouldn't like the idea that someone's looking down my throat just by online camera. Not such a good idea, but okay, back to topic. I'm trailing off here. I merrily said I am not disabled, and let's say maybe at this time that was okay, because let's say it kept me going. I might have mentioned that Canada for me was also shaped by a particular religion where like the people were advocating really strongly for like even a disease is a like a gift from God. My opinions to that effect have changed slightly, but we should talk about that another time. But anyway, okay, so I wasn't disabled, I was blessed, and that that kept me going. That kept me like actually really working on my dream of being a novelist. Like the filmmaker was not in the picture yet, but I think that's also intertwining with the idea that at the time not everybody could operate a camera. And there was not so much like public discourse about younger people with disabilities actually making decisions. I mean, this sounds sad, but like I think today I have much more agency to make decisions than I had back in the day. And I have more options. Like, let's say one highlight of the week was, of course, my beloved ACE meeting, where like people also mentioned how it was to tell the family that they were not interested in a partnership or children. And let's say, especially in Iceland, I have made the experience that people my generation thought they had to. Um, and so I had a really good conversation with people yesterday that we have to create a healthy discourse on that. Not necessarily everybody is interested in starting a family, or that like families can have so many different faces and many different structures. But yeah, where was I with saying I'm not disabled? Yes, of course, because if I'm not disabled, then of course I would have to, at least at the time I thought so, follow this church's idea of family patterns, and let's just say that didn't work. Like today, I find it important to say I am disabled, or I have disabilities. Like I know even people even dispute, and there is not one right and wrong if you should say I am disabled or I have disabilities, and I like use that alternatively uh, when I want to say this is like an integral part of me that I work with, sort of like I have a hammer if I had a hammer. Um, or sort of like, of course, I totally get the notion that if you have a hammer, you don't have it in your hands all the time and you can drop it. But I actually like the hammer as the comparison, because this Trini Lopez song, If I Had a Hammer, is actually for peace. And uh, whenever I have a hammer in my hand, I have to be really careful with it, because I kind of need to conserve my fingers. They are something that I can work well with. And most hammers are heavy, so yeah. Um, I know that many people say I am disabled when they want to point out that the society disables them, but I think like people who know me by now have figured out that I always say communication is a two-way road. Um, I experienced it a little bit tricky this week when Ferdinand the Walker was in the way in a quite full cafe and in a quite full bus. And for some reason, the folding mechanism didn't work. But then again, today at the pool, someone said, "Oh, Frida, I didn't think you were here because I didn't see your walker." Because actually I showed up with a stick only. So can we maybe keep in mind as a bottom line of this story that a disability and what you call it can possibly vary from day to day, and since some people who have left me really nice comments actually watch these ramblings to the end, I may say that um, yes, sometimes when I say a lot, I have a disability or I am disabled, that can also be that I make myself too much at home in the fact that I need help, but um, that problem also has many layers, and I'm extremely grateful for my friends who know the whole picture, who sometimes then also say, no, you can put those shoes on yourself. That even goes faster, as if I did it. So yes, at some point it kept me going to basically ignore my disability, uh, let's say in the way you put a bag over the eyes of a donkey or a horse if you don't want it to see the fire and if you want it to go past. And for instance, I assume that, like, also from my experience, that like parents of young children sometimes also have to ignore their health issues to keep going. But let's say my experience is if you do this on a long term, it royally backfires, because like when I had to leave Canada because my student exchange year was up, I fell into the darkest black hole of depression ever, and that lasted 2 years because then I basically was not able to do anything anymore because like these structures that enabled me to do things, they just were not there anymore. And at the point I couldn't articulate that yet, that I might need different structures. So by the time I graduated the German high school, then I actually learned the hard way that I have to um, give the things a name in order to find people who can help me. Um, and I have to ask for help. And I know that, like, I'm still learning, like, even 20 plus years after high school graduation, that not everybody who I ask can actually provide this help I need. Um, and I am kind of becoming more mindful who to ask what, and maybe also like I want to get more into journaling again to discover patterns, what works and what doesn't. So if anyone wants to journal with me, if anyone wants to give me ideas for journaling videos, like of course without exposing people's private stuff, but yeah, I kind of want to see patterns, and I want to see my disabilities as a hammer and a nail and tools to um, it's the hammer of justice, it's the bell of freedom, it's the song about the love between my brothers and my sisters, and now I kind of have to stop singing, otherwise YouTube may take this down. One thought I had this morning in the pool, well, yeah, uh, we should also think about jobs where the disability is not that relevant. Like, I mean, my ADHD makes me sing very randomly, but this like random singing and storytelling, that's what all these people with the tarot cards do, who I follow on YouTube. So maybe I should become a fortune teller. Of course, let's say, don't take me literal. If you have like, if any grain of truth from this babbling helps you, I'm glad. Uh, and I wish you a wonderful day where you can be happy with who you are and what hammers you have in your life. Bye bye.